traditions, culinary traditions, the world, they're constantly changing. Right now, you think Italian food, you think pasta and tomatoes. Guess what? That's like only 200 years old. So like 1500s Italian food, what was it? It was minced meat and dried fruits and nuts and herbs and spices, and that's what we have here. So would you like a blast from the past? Let's make this medieval Casarecce together and taste a piece of history. So here's the question. Have you watched me make pasta before? If you have, you need to put salt in the water. It needs to taste like the ocean. It seems like a lot of salt, but the truth is like that saltiness goes down the drain, but you need to get the salinity in the water. Here's a little bit of butter for some flavor. And we'll add some olive oil to basically insulate the butter from burning. And here we have some pork sausage. I really like using this because it's essentially pre-seasoned meat. And if you just run your knife up the inside like this, you're able to decase it pretty easily. So, cut it up, maximize the surface area so you get a nice crust on there. Let's say put some fennel in there, grind it up, some fennel seeds. So if you use a non-stick pan, you're actually gonna make it harder to create the crusty Maillard reaction that you want. So go for a stick pan. I want crispy, brown, meaty bits. Take some pasta water, scrape that. Sort of like the base of what we're going for here. Some walnuts. So the Italians, you know, they stole the pasta from somewhere in China. The tomato came from the Americas. So like, what did they originally sauce their stuff with? And the answer is like nuts. Okay, the Casarecce are looking very good. Delicious by itself. Why is it delicious by itself? Because the pasta water is salty. Very important. Now, some cranberries, some dried fruit. Pasta. And when you had a special guest over in medieval times, you'd put nutmeg because it would increase sexual function, but also because it was very expensive. So if you wanted to, you know, make your guests really feel special, you'd put nutmeg. These are the pastas of the old world Italy. Before it was Italy. Italy's only 150 years old, actually. It's kind of a new thing. You get some parmi in there. A little bit of mascarpone. Okay, so the mascarpone just gives you a little more creaminess. They totally didn't use it in the Middle Ages. But, you know, they probably didn't have a pan that was as well made as this one either. Do not serve it until you taste it. Seriously. Because you can't be like at the table being like, oh, it should have a little more salt. No, make that happen before you put it in the bowl. Nutmeg and dried cranberries are a wonderful combination. This is creamy, this is salty, this is totally tasty. So dried fruit, walnuts, wonderfully cooked meat, in this case sausage, which I like using because it's basically pre-seasoned with a bunch of stuff in it. If you don't want to use a pork sausage, I recommend grinding up fennel seeds, salt, pepper, maybe some coriander. And then of course we put nutmeg in there so that our sexual function is improved. Some basil on top right away, boom! So this is lovely. Would you like to take a little trip back in time? This is something not far from what people on the peninsula of Italy would eat in the 1500s. And I think it's absolutely delicious.